was a great game of footy, it must be said, and the Tigers will reload and go again. They did have, though, some discipline problems on the field. I think it was 4 50s in the end. This was Damien Hardwick's reaction afterwards.
Probably a little bit like last night's game. They're a bit trigger-happy at the moment, so we've just got to understand how the game is being adjudicated and adjust.
Oh, I just thought we gave Ray undisciplined free kicks in the back end of that second quarter, and the reality is that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, so that was actually Damien Hardwick at half-time saying the umpires were over-umpiring, and then after the game saying the lack of discipline actually cost them, and those goals at the end of the second quarter, Matthew, were the game. I think the lack of discipline came about, and in very interesting comments you made tonight on 3AW with the meatball with Dion Prestia. You felt that their lack of discipline was forced upon them by Brisbane.
Yeah, in a big final that Brisbane dealt them. They were hitting every punch that Richmond gave. Brisbane would hit back harder, and they didn't like it. They didn't like the fact that this young up-and-coming team was just giving as good as they got, and I thought they lost the plot. It was 4-1 in the second quarter, and here's some of the 50-metre penalties. So Dustin Martin started it off. Here's one. Push in the back. Who's that free kick going to? Yet Dustin decides to kick the ball.
That was tough. They barely paid that free all year.
The whistle went, Karen. So what's he thinking here? So this one here.
I think that was right.
Shy Bolton. Doesn't matter if you don't feel the decision's yours or not. You can't kick the ball away. This Bolton, all right? This is probably the least one that I thought could have been paid, the Bolton. But this one, Trent. That is just a crude, frustrated act from a player when the game's getting away from you. This one, Bolton. It's a throw. Yet he kicks the ball, and then Pickett. This is horrendous from Pickett when you've got to go hard at the ball, and yet at times you want to go charging into the back of a player to give it a 100-metre penalty, and pretty much that is where they lost the game, in my opinion, Kate.
And it wasn't just those obvious ones, Lord. I thought there were some in-game undisciplined moments that maybe won't get as scrutinised as heavily, but this is the first 30 seconds of this game. Daniel Rich, how long is he standing there for? I counted 7 seconds. He's the most dangerous kick in the Brisbane side. He was best on ground. No one goes and picks him up. So there's a goal that could have been prevented. Then I want to have a look at Dylan Grimes v Charlie Cameron. The most dangerous forward on the ground is Charlie Cameron. What is Grimes doing here? If you go, you've got to impact. And if you don't impact, this is what happens. Charlie Cameron makes you pay every time. And then Grimes again via lesser player in Zach Bailey. If you're going to leave your player, you've got to impact. You've got to spoil this ball over the boundary line. He flies. He doesn't touch the footy. Bailey does what all good forwards do, front and square. So there's 3 goals that I think Richmond can easily fix, and they will fix, but it was another example of some discipline issues they had.
They've just had one of those years, discipline-wise, where they've been 2, 3, 5% off, and they clearly got the talent to win the flag. This was just a little example. I know in hindsight this was funny and a bit of a laugh and inconsequential in the scheme of things.
No, I don't think it was. I thought it was a bad look.
But when they're in sync, that doesn't happen.
No.
When Richmond is well-structured, organised, well-supported, footy managers, and you look at the steely look of Fagan there, and I just thought it was just another little example.
Ray, you know my view about the head of football, and Tim Livingston must think I'm gunning for him, and I'm not. But the head of football's job is surely to tell the coach he's meant. He can't have... the coach can't forget that he has to be at the national anthem.
But he's been at how many finals has he been as a player and the coach? Surely he remembers to go to the
but there is a head of football there, and sometimes coaches go a bit nutty, we know that, and they need a strong person on top of them. We've seen it occasionally at Hawthorn with Alistair Clarkson, and we've seen it several times this year with another one of the greats of the competition in Damien Hardwick.
I heard Charlie Cameron after the game say he played too deep on Dylan Grimes, and he played into the hands of Dylan Grimes, and I thought, I've questioned this Brisbane forward line, but it was the best I've seen them play, and it was the way, even this was the first moment of the game, lowering their eyes, so not kicking it long and high for intercept marks for Vlosten and Grimes and Asprey and all those guys, even Eric Hipwood. Bring Noah Bolter up high, get Bolter out of the way so they can't intercept. Even this one, low darting kicks, and it's a way to try and bring Richmond undone. They want pressure further afield from their smalls, and then they can lay off an intercept mark. And I thought this was brilliant from Brisbane with the way they played. And as I said, they failed in finals before they took their chance. And this is the intercept marking that they love. They've averaged 14 across the year. Last year's qualifying final, they took 20. Earlier in the year, they took 17. It dropped down to 8, Hutchie. So that's something other teams could watch to try and bring down the Richmond footy.